Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screens from the Basement podcast with Sam and Casey.
This is a bi-weekly horror podcast in which two horror fans discuss all things horror, including news, recent watches, horror collectibles, and more.
I'm one of your co-hosts, Casey.
And I'm Sam.
And let's get
screaming.
Sam, what is up?
Oh, it's good to be doing another episode. I'm excited. I know that I already had an episode back, but for some reason, I think it's just because so much has been going on in my life that this feels like my return back into Screams from the Basement for good. Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked to be here.
Last episode was your cold open. Now we're in the thick of things. We're about to unmask the killer.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. It's all good now. We're getting back on track.
we are. Speaking of unmasking the killer, let's get this announced right here at the top of the episode. This is going to be a little bit of a break from formula for us in a good way. I'm excited for this. We're going to test this out. We're going to see how this goes because we're hip, we're young.
Yeah.
We like to do things that the internet thinks is cool.
And we have vastly differing opinions, so this might be a bloodbath.
This might be the last episode. No, we are going to be doing a tier ranking of slasher villains, slasher icons of the horror genre. We have 25 slasher villains that we are going to be putting in a tier ranking list. So if you don't know what this is, we can kind of explain it briefly here, and then we'll bring it up again when we actually make the list. But basically, it's a regular ranking of characters, topics, ideas, and you rank them in a list from S to A to B to C to D. We're going to have some fun with some of those titles, I think. But yeah, S is the top, D is the lowest, and we're going to rank some of the best horror villains of all time in that list.
Yeah. And it's going to be tricky too, because there's a lot of genuine icons in this list that we came up with. And if you think we missed a couple, don't worry. We've already been discussing about the few that we've missed, but 25 is already stretching it. So we're just going with what we have.
Yeah, we don't know how long this is going to take with just 25, let alone if we had 50, and we easily could have. We were cutting people. We were forgetting people as soon as we hit the record button on this. So we're not perfect. Please let us know who we are missing, though. We do want to hear hey, this person should have been included, and maybe we'll do a part 2 or something down the road. Who knows?
Yeah, we could do something later down the road where we add in slasher characters as we see fit.
Yeah, why not?
Keep the tier ranking going.
We do what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
It's creative. Great Eric Cartman from South Park. I do what I want. It's what we do on this show. Speaking of doing what we want, Sam, are you ready to talk a lot of seller news?
Yeah, we've got a lot of seller news today. I'm kind of stoked.
We have a lot. So let's hit the music. Let's get to this. All right, seller news. First up, this is a big one right here. I'm going to throw this beautiful man's face on the screen. There he is. Multiple-time Oscar winner Guillermo del Toro. His next project is looking like he's heading back to the monster world with an adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. That's cool enough. We're done with this news piece. Moving on.
It gets better.
But it gets better. It somehow gets better. It's already my favorite movie of all time, but now the casting, it just adds to it. The names that are being thrown around to star in the movie include Andrew Garfield, Oscar Isaac, and Mia Goth.
Mia freaking Goth. Del Toro obviously is a fan of Frankenstein and Mary Shelley's work.
I heard he likes monsters.
Yeah, the guy might happen to like monsters a little bit. I don't know much about him, but
he doesn't have a giant Frankenstein life-size bust in his house. He doesn't. I know that.
No, definitely not. He would never. No, in all seriousness, when this was announced, I'm in on this. Frankenstein is still my favorite Universal monster, him and Bride. I think James Whale's, I mean, really, trilogy of Universal monster picks are the best. Like, I think he made the three best Universal monster movies. And I can't think of a better person to do another adaptation of Frankenstein working today than Del Toro. I think he's incredible. Gothic horror is totally his thing. Monsters are totally his thing. He already kind of did a Creature from the Black Lagoon pseudo reimagining.
He won that little gold guy from doing it.
Yeah, like one of the best picture winners I think we've ever seen. So yeah, I'm just kind of hoping he can replicate that with his Frankenstein movie and maybe actually get Mia Goth an Oscar with it too.
Yeah, I can't add anything else to that because you nailed it on the head. I mean, Del Toro is one of my top 5, top 10, probably top 5 favorite directors of all time. Like you said, his Shape of Water is easily one of my favorite Best Picture winners of all time. I love pretty much anything he does, especially including monsters. It's interesting to see that Doug Jones's name isn't thrown in here yet. I do think it's.
Yeah,
I think he might not play the monster. I think maybe whoever's funding this. It's Netflix, right?
it's Netflix. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
They might be like, yeah, we need to have someone of name play the monster. And so he's like, all right, well, I have an idea. We're going to have Andrew Garfield be ugly because it's hard for him to do that. So we're going to make him be ugly
Mm.
and be the monster. And Mia Goth is going to be the doctor. That's my pitch. I want that.
See, you know what I want?
Or she
I
can play.
want that. I want him to do because like in the original Mary Shelley novel, there's like a whole subplot where the monster is trying to coerce the doctor into building a bride, which is the impetus for Bride of
Hmm.
Frankenstein, which took that material and ran in a completely different direction. Goddamn, I love James Whale for that. Um, but what I really hope is that Mia Goth is a new bride, like a new bride monster. Um,
That's the logical way to go. I just want her to
ah,
play a
I
crazy doctor that makes humans
yeah,
from body parts, though.
I get that, and I would love to see that too. Whatever he does with this, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
so excited. But yeah, I don't know. There's just so many possibilities with this trio attached to it, with Guillermo attached to it. Like this movie's gonna rule. This movie is going to rule. And after he netted Netflix an Oscar with Pinocchio, they're not gonna mess with this movie. They're gonna let him do what he wants, and that's so exciting.
I think they know what they're signing up for, and it's like, yeah, you see that gold guy right there? We want another one of those, so just do that.
Yep, yep.
And it's like, yeah, have Del Toro be that guy. This cast is perfect. Yeah, honestly, you could throw any 3 of those names in as whatever role you want, and the movie still makes sense and makes me even more excited, no matter what order you put them in and who's gonna play the doctor, the monster bride. If they're gonna have a Dr. Pretorius in this, who knows
Hmm.
what Del Toro is
Oh,
gonna do with it. Super
can you
excited.
imagine Oscar Isaac going over the top as a Pretorius type?
Yeah,
That would be awesome. That would be cool.
I'm in on this. This is, yeah,
Yep.
like I said, already my favorite movie ever. Already my second favorite movie ever is Jordan Peele's next movie, which in Jordan Peele fashion, we know nothing about besides it is coming out fall of 2024.
Yep.
That's
I'm
it.
in. I'll be there in the theaters fall 2024. Even though I was not there for Nope, unfortunately. I can't believe I missed Nope in the theaters. That movie is
Yeah,
incredible.
same here. I watched I watched it on my phone the way Jordan Peele intended.
Oh man.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that movie on a bigger screen. Maybe we'll rent out your theater room, Sam, so we
Yeah,
can at
we
least
should.
get half the experience it would be to watch it in an actual movie theater.
Yeah, get it with that surround sound going and all that.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
We don't know anything else about this movie besides Jordan Peele.
Besides, it'll probably be on both of our top 10 lists in 2024.
Yeah. The guy just he doesn't miss.
No, he
And
doesn't.
for me, I think
He's made three 5-star masterpieces for me, honestly.
yeah, I think he just gets better and better each time. And for some people, they're
Mhm.
like, no, it's the release order, Get Out, than Us, than Nope. I'm like, I prefer Nope than Us than Get Out.
I actually think I'm with you there. I really do, and I love all 3 of those movies. All
Yeah,
3 of
they're
them I
all.
think were, like, top 3 in their respective years in my top 10.
I was gonna say all three are 4-star plus, 4.5, 5-star movies, all of them. So
Yep.
stoked for this movie. This one's curious. We haven't talked about this at all, you and I. This next piece of
No.
news. I'm excited. We're I think we're on. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember your thoughts on this movie. The movie is a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. I believe Firehouse is the name that they're either
Yeah, that's
shooting
the
under,
working title that I've heard.
or it's actually going to be Ghostbusters Firehouse, which I don't hate. I think that's an all right
It's a
title,
pretty
especially
decent
since
title.
they're supposed to be going back to New York. But the news is that there is some casting news. Kumail Nanjiani and Patton Oswalt are added to the cast of Ghostbusters Firehouse. First of all, yes. Don't
Yeah.
know what the question was, but yes, those two would fit perfectly in the Ghostbusters universe. I want to see I want to see both of them as Ghostbusters or Patton Oswald as like a slimy businessman trying to shut them down.
Yeah. I agree. I would like to see Oswald be kind of like the villain of this. If
Yeah,
there's gonna be, because like you don't see Patton Oswalt do a villainous turn very often. I think he would nail it. I love both of these guys. They're both
hmm
tremendous. Kumail, I would love it if he was a Ghostbuster. Like I want to see
yeah.
Kumail be an actual Ghostbuster. As far as this movie goes, you know my thoughts. Like Afterlife, I walked out of the theater pretty disappointed with it. I did not like a lot of the third act. I rewatched it, liked it a little bit more. Still don't quite dig the third act, but
Yeah,
a lot of the things that threw me off the first time around didn't bother me quite as much the second time around. I really think Paul Rudd's great. McKenna Grace is very fun. Um, Finn Wolfhard is collecting a paycheck, and
I
that's
was going to say
fine.
he's
Um,
sleeping his way through this.
but
Like, all right, we're
no,
not shooting Stranger Things. I'll go do this other '80s nostalgia thing.
yeah, he's coasting through Afterlife, and that's fine. Whatever. Yeah, collect that money while you can, Finn. Um, but I don't know. I just I have a hard time getting pumped up for this. This is one of those things that I know you disagree with me on, but I honestly thought the 2016 Paul Feig Ghostbusters was better than Afterlife. I liked it quite a bit more. I thought it captured Ghostbusters better and maybe a little less cynically than Afterlife did.
Ooh, disagree.
Oh, I
I
know. I know that's a disagreement with you, but
that is I don't
yeah.
disagree on Afterlife. I kind of had the same feelings I think you do, where the third act is like, all right, let's just do this, move on. Let's just
Mhm.
let's play the nostalgia trip and just get this movie over with. That's why I'm excited for this one, that we don't have to rely on, oh my God, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, they're back as Ghostbusters
Yeah.
with Ghost of Egon. It's like with the
Yeah.
same villains from the first movie. That's what really drove me nuts, was the lack of creativity, I guess, in terms of the villain. I don't mind the OG Ghostbusters coming back. It makes sense. They've been waiting to do this for decades, bring them back. But the fact that it's the same villains as the first movie felt very lazy. That's why I'm hoping this one I'll at least have something different. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like a rival Ghostbusters group starts up. I think that would be really cool.
That would be cool. I would like that. Like
Something
I just
different.
want them to do something different with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my biggest issue is like Ghostbusters Afterlife. Once you get past the like, oh, they're kids and it's out in a farm, there's not much actually different about Afterlife to the first Ghostbusters. You know
hmm
what I mean? That it's still it's a little bit it's The Force Awakens, which I know is another movie that I didn't like that is very popular. And it's fine. It's like Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's fine. I just don't like the reboots that just do what the original did. You
Yeah.
know? And that's kind of where I'm at. It was the same thing with Scream 22, a little bit of the same thing with Halloween 18. Like all of these movies are enjoyable. I throw them on. Some of them I definitely like more than others. but the ones that really stick with me are the ones that dare to do something a little different and risky, even
But
if it doesn't always pay off.
since we are talking about like the requels, I think I we're getting a lot of them. Pretty much any major franchise, if you're doing it again, you're doing a requel. I
Yep.
prefer them to a reboot.
Oh, I do too. 100%.
Even if the first
100%.
movie is usually just a light remake of the original movie, I don't mind that because then we can get something different. Even if I don't always like what they do different, looking at you, Halloween and Star Wars. Uh, that's why I'm hoping Firehouse does something different with,
Yeah,
with this next one.
absolutely.
Sam,
Yes.
ready to talk about some big ass sharks?
I'm ready to talk about some big ass sharks. Casey, we didn't get one, we got two big shark trailers over the course of the last, like, actually, it was within like a day of each other, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. It felt like one day I was watching the trailer for the Black Demon, and the next I was watching the trailer for Big Shark.
Sam,
Oh,
tell me about the Black Demon because I failed as your co-host. I did not watch this trailer. Um, what is the what is the black? I did watch though. Maybe let's talk about this first. Did you
yeah.
you showed me this? It was that Megalodon CGI video.
Yes.
We should
Yeah.
talk about
Oh
that for a second
gosh.
because
We should.
that's incredible. It's the best shark movie since Jaws.
It is. I want to find the guy's Insta. Hold on, because I want to actually give him a shout out.
Yeah, you find it.
Um,
I'll kind of talk about it because when you sent it, I had no idea what you sent, and I watched it, and I'm like, okay, this looks pretty realistic. And then you get to see
mhm.
that just giant fin come out of the water, and it just
Yeah.
bursts through this ship in the ocean. It's like, oh my god, that's terrifying.
And then you go underwater with it, and you've got it just sitting there waiting, and it comes at the like sharks have always been a big fear of mine. Like one of my earliest horror memories is seeing the cover for Jaws at the video store and being afraid. Like just the cover of Jaws made me afraid to go into the swimming pool to take a bath. Like my parents had to force me to bathe because I did not want to. Sharks terrify me, which is insane because I've always lived in the Midwest. But
We're pretty safe from
um,
sharks.
we're pretty safe here from sharks, but like, Maria's always talked about, oh, we should go on a cruise sometime. I'm like, no, I'll go on a river cruise with you, but there's no ocean cruises for me. The ocean terrifies me. The creator is Alexei N. So it's like ALEKSEY_N on Instagram, and he has an incredible all CG, like what a megalodon attack would look like. It looks, I mean, fairly realistic for what he's doing with it, and yeah, I love it. You should go check it out. He has a whole bunch of other cool like visual effects stuff on his Instagram, including some like dinosaur stuff, and yeah, he's great. So
Sam, Black Demon, what's this about? I see
yes,
Mr. Josh Lucas, the auteur of cinema he is
yes,
of acting. What is
Josh
the Black
Lucas,
Demon?
Josh Lucas, aka one of my favorite rom com kings, Sweet Home Alabama, you rule. Yeah, Josh Lucas plays an oil man who is going out to this oil rig off the coast of Mexico to check on it with his family. His wife is from the area originally, and they get there, and it just seems like this place is like haunted by something, like something's going on, and they're all pretty like quiet about the oil rig, and they're telling him like you probably shouldn't go out there, and he goes out, and it looks like this oil rig is pretty much deserted, like there's just no one there, and it's because there's a giant megalodon that is like fighting back against this oil rig that has been polluting the ocean. And I'm a sucker for eco horror. We talked about it last time, I think, when I talked about Orca, the killer whale. Like
Mhm.
eco horror is one of my favorites. I love when the earth bites back. In this one, quite literally, it seems like.
I mean,
Uh,
the poster says "Nature Bites Back," so they know what
oh
they're
my
doing.
God, yeah, they. I didn't even see that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the Black Demon, based on like a Mexican folklore, but also, I mean, the real existence of megalodon sharks, I presume too. I'm interested to see what they do because they seem to be really leaning into the like this is based on like the Mexican folktale, and I'm kind of excited to see like what different flavor that brings to it, aside from something that's like The Meg from a couple of years ago, which isn't a big dumb movie that I very much enjoy, but it runs the playbook of what you do in a giant shark movie and not much else. So, um, yeah, the Black Demon. I'm really excited about this. Good to see Josh Lucas back. Good to see Josh Lucas in horror. And it's always a good day when I get a new giant shark movie to look forward to.
It's
And this
always a
week I
good.
got two.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's always a good day when you hear Mr. Tommy Wiseau is making another movie, which I believe this is his first
Yeah, it's his
feature
follow up to
film
The Room.
since The Room. Been
Yeah,
20 years in the making. What are we getting? It's called Big Shark,
and it looks
and
like a boxing movie.
it looks like a boxing movie with a sci-fi channel level shark in this movie. So we got a 2-minute
Running down
trailer.
slip and slides through the New Orleans streets.
Yeah, we got a 2-minute trailer for Big Shark. It is out of that 2-minute trailer, 1 minute is a trailer of Big Shark. 75% of that trailer is boxing of two
Yep.
unknown people. I don't know who they are. It's not even
No,
Tommy
there's no
Wiseau.
context for the boxing.
There's not. Is he even in the trailer?
I feel like he might be. I feel like he is.
I
Yeah,
don't
he
know.
is.
I don't remember if he was or not. We just get some
That's what I
text
think.
over a city and a big shark is coming.
Yep.
And we get to see some glimpses of the CGI big shark. And then we get a minute long trailer after that for Tommy Wiseau's underwear brand. And that's what sold me on watching the
Wonderwear.
that's what sold me on watching this movie. Not the actual trailer for the movie we're gonna watch. It was the fact that there's a minute long ad for Tommy Wiseau's underwear behind the trailer. I'm in.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I know this is being released as a road show. I really hope that I really hope that the state gets this one in. I hope that we get or at least some theater. Like we got to get Big Shark in here in Sioux Falls. Like someone's got to book it because I got to see this on the biggest screen possible. I need to see this with a crowd. I need to see this like hooting and hollering at all the craziness on screen.
Yeah. I also loved, I don't know if you noticed this at the end of the trailer, there was a copyright for Big Shark and it said like 2019-2023.
Yeah.
Like Tommy, I
So
think you just need to update your copyright and have it say copyright 2023. You don't need to put the date the date when you
I
first copyright the
but
movie.
Tommy Wiseau would want you to know that he's had Big Shark copyrighted since 2019.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's
Big
like
Shark's
James
coming.
Cameron spent years on it. Big movie.
Big movie. It's like Big Shark. All right, next up, another trailer. Oh boy, here we go. Full
Oh
Moon
boy.
is at it again. This is Full Moon's I don't know if it's their next film coming. It might be, who knows. Jim Wynorski from Chopping Mall fame. He is now making not Chopping Mall, not Killbots. He is now making Murderbot.
Yeah.
This is a movie that was originally titled Killbots.
Mhm.
I assume there was going to be a copyright lawsuit coming from that, and they changed it to Murderbot.
Yep.
Um, this looks like
It looks like a full moon movie.
it looks like the worst of the worst full moon. Well, not the worst of the worst. It doesn't look like there's any reusing of footage because this isn't a sequel, but it looks like the second worst of the worst of full moon movies. Of it's just low budget schlock of here's this sci-fi premise, here's some scantily clad women and terrible acting, and let's wander around for 60 minutes and hope something comes out of this.
And the sound kind of sounds like you're in a tin can and the colors are a little washed
Yeah,
out and faded and
Sam,
and
they
I
had
but you know what? I'm in.
7
I'm
tomatoes
in.
already on Full Moon Features.
Yeah. Is it really?
Listen, I'm all for this. What's that?
Is it really on full moon features already? Did you say?
Oh, no. I was just
Oh.
making a joke.
Oh, okay. I was like, "Oh my god, if they released it already." Like, the trailer came out 3 days ago.
Oh, Sam, that would not surprise me if they did that.
Yeah, maybe
You know
not.
what? They have done that before. They'll shoot a movie like the month before, and it'll be on full moon the next month.
Hey, you know what? Good for Charlie. Good for Charlie.
They're trying. I'm sold. I'm gonna put my full moon features subscription to good use on Jim Wynorski's Murderbot. I haven't even watched Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama 2. I should probably watch that
I
too.
know. It's on my watch list because it's on Tubi now, so I'm definitely gonna be checking that one out soon, especially
There
since
is
my girl Kelly Maroney's in it.
He is. I should also throw this in there. I didn't put it actually in the notes. I'll throw it in with this. Uh, Charlie did announce that there is another Puppet Master movie coming on Leech Woman, the female doll that spews leeches out of her mouth.
Ew, alright.
Yeah, so
That's fun.
I assume that'll be on full moon by the time this episode drops.
You know it.
All right.
Alright.
What's next? How does this show work? Are we recording?
Did we hit record?
Did
I
we hit
think it's
record?
time for you to get your toys out, Casey.
Oh my gosh, let's do this. This feels like I feel like Andy in Toy Story. It's time. All right, Casey's Toy Box. We got a couple cool things going on. Sam, you're gonna really
Yeah.
dig this first one right here.
Oh, yeah.
NECA has announced two new Elvira figures. One is one of the deluxe figures. The other is one of the Toonie Terrors. If you're watching the video here, you can see on the left the Toonie Terrors. It is classic Elvira on a red velvet couch, which looks cool.
With Fifi from Mistress of the Dark.
Yep.
All done up in her makeover. I'm so excited.
This is going to be
That
on
one,
Sam's shelf right away, I
yeah.
assume.
This one will be on my shelf. I love this. I love the Toonie Terrors line. I think they're great.
Hmm.
And Elvira is my favorite horror host. Mistress of the Dark is one of my favorite movies ever. I love it. This will definitely be there. Yep.
And then the next one is a more deluxe figure. They did release
Yep.
one, I think, earlier last year, 2022, I think. But this one's
Yeah.
in the red, like sequin dress, which I mean looks cool, looks awesome.
Yeah.
I won't be getting either of these. I don't think I have any Elvira stuff. Who knows? I don't know.
No,
Sam
I
will.
know.
Sam will be
You
getting at least one of these.
I'll
I know.
I'll handle enough of the Elvira stuff for the two of us.
Yeah. Next up, sticking with
Mhm.
NECA. This one I will be
Yep.
getting. This is NECA's deluxe creature from the
The
Black
detail work
Lagoon.
on that is incredible.
It is. It looks so good. I am one figure behind right now on my Universal Monsters. I do have the Wolfman, Invisible Man, and Frankenstein's monster. I need to pick up Dracula. He is out there somewhere. This is the next one here, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Oh, I don't have Invisible Man. That's the other one. But I will be getting this one. As you can see, if you're watching this on the screen, this is the colored version. I go with the black and whites. They do both versions.
Mhm.
These look incredible, though. Just look at that
Yeah, the paint
detail on
job,
the
the
figure.
detailing. Oh my god, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, these are so cool. I wonder if they're going to be doing like what they've been doing with the Universal Monsters. They'll do like an accessory set. So like Dracula, you can
Mm,
buy the coffin. Mummy, you can buy like the tomb. Frankenstein, you can buy like the laboratory. So I wonder if they're going to be doing that with Creature. I don't know what would be included with that.
yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
Maybe, I don't know, cave, rocks, a boat.
A
Oh, it'd be
giant
cool to
boat.
get a boat.
Yeah, who knows? I guess we'll see. Next up here, we're going to follow up with last episode's announcement of us talking about Toxic Crusaders. There's going to be a Toxic Crusader side-scrolling game. This looks cool. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up just because I'm not a video game junkie, but this looks
I'm not,
super cool.
yeah. Here's the thing, I'm not a gamer. I would not consider myself a gamer, but I do love Nintendo, and I have loved Nintendo pretty much my whole life.
Hmm.
And Maria's sister got us a Switch for Christmas this past year. Um, and I've kind of fallen back in love with some of this stuff, like, playing Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart and all that. And
The
this
Animal Crossings.
Yeah, yeah. This looks kind of up that alley, and I'm like, yeah, I love Toxic Crusaders. I'm pretty sure I saw in the announcement this was going to be available on Switch. I will
Mhm.
most likely be playing this by the end of the year.
Yeah, if we do get it, it'll be on Switch, and I will play it for a week, and
Yep.
then Kayla will take her Switch back.
Yeah.
Uh, Last but not least, Sam, I don't know if you saw this yet,
I don't know if I did.
but there it
What?
is. It is Scooby Doo Friends and Foes Deluxe box set from, I believe, Mezco is the company releasing this.
Oh, dude.
Um, this thing is insane. So if you're listening, I'll kind of describe it to you. It's an old castle, and it comes with obviously the Scooby Gang, Shaggy, Scooby, Fred, Daphne, Velma. It comes with the Mystery Machine. It also does come with 4 classic, iconic Scooby Doo villains. It
Yeah.
comes with the ghost of Elias Kingston, which is a great Scooby Doo villain. All of these are great Scooby Doo villains. When you think of like Scooby Doo villains, these are usually some of the ones that come to mind right
Oh, yeah.
away. 2 of the Green Ghosts, and I'll be honest, kind of one of my least favorite, but he's super cool looking. Spooky Space Kook. Uh,
Mm, I
this,
love Space Kook.
the like space and sci-fi ones never did it for me, but he's always cool looking.
Yeah.
This comes with like a ton of accessories. You get like food for Scooby and Shaggy. You get a box of
Uh,
Scooby snacks. You get like alternate heads for all the villains. So you can do the unmasking.
what?
Yeah.
That's insane, dude. Okay, yeah, this is going on my shelf quicker than
Uh,
the Elvira one, I think.
are you ready for
Um,
the price on this?
yeah, I'm ready. How much am I out?
The pre-order just started this last week. It is going to be coming September of 2023. It is 159.99 for this set.
I've spent more on worse. I think I'll be okay.
So this again is on Mezco. Entertainment Earth is where you can find the pre-order. So if you are looking to add to your Scooby collection, this is a great thing for it. I don't think I'm going to be getting this. Um,
This
Not
looks
that it's
similar
super
to a
cool, but
set of action figures that I had of these when I was a kid that I don't know where they went to anymore. So like I saw this and my heart kind of leapt up into my throat and I'm like, "Oh my God, yeah, like I have to get these guys." Like I know it's not the same, but it's close enough. And
it's close
I
enough.
feel like there's just a tremendous nostalgic pull when you pulled up this photo.
Yeah, it's super cool. If I had these as a kid, I would be playing Scooby Doo every single day.
Yeah. Yep.
So that
Oh,
is it. That's it for Casey's toy box for this episode. Some really cool stuff coming out. If you are listening to this, wherever you can comment, either on our socials or on YouTube, let us know if you're going to be picking any of these things up,
yeah.
or if you have any other cool stuff you want to share with us that we should be talking about for toys. We like them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Casey, I guess it's that time of the show where I got to ask you a question.
Okay, let's go.
What have you been doobie doing?
What have I been doing? Speaking of Scooby Doo, I've not watched any. No, I have watched one thing of Scooby Doo.
Have you?
It is one episode of Scooby Doo and the 13 Ghosts.
Ooh, I almost started that last night. It's crazy that you say that.
It's on Tubi right now. It's probably on HBO Max too. Um,
It's on Boomerang too, which is where I get all my Scoob content.
is Boomerang still around?
Boomerang is still around,
Okay.
$4.99 a month. It's
Um,
great. I love it. It's the streaming service that Warner Brothers forgot about. They take something off of HBO Max, it's still on Boomerang.
yeah. Yeah, I used to have Boomerang. Boomerang's the best. But I watched one episode of Scooby Doo and the 13 Ghosts. The only reason I'm going to bring it up very quick is that there is a character on it I completely forgot about, and most Scooby Doo fans do too. Do you remember the character of Flim Flam?
Oh yeah,
He is easily the most forgotten Scooby Doo
yeah,
character.
yeah. Oh yeah, Flim Flam is great.
Mm. Is Flim
Hold
Flam
up,
great?
I feel like Flim Flam is great. Am I thinking the wrong character? I'm
The
googling him.
he's
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Flim
with the
Flam.
yellow jacket. Yeah. That show has both Scrappy and Flim Flam, and yet we give crap to Scrappy. Come on, people.
I here's the thing. Annoying Scooby Doo characters are still great Scooby Doo characters. I love Flim Flam. I love Scrappy. They're all good to me.
Even who's Scooby's cousin is like Doofy Doo or something like that.
Oh yeah, like the grayish dog. Yeah, I
Yeah,
liked him.
I don't like
He's
him.
great. Oh, I liked him.
Next episode,
I have low standards, I guess. I
we're gonna
don't
be
know.
tier ranking all the Scooby Doo characters.
They're all just S for me, dude.
But besides that, this past week was St. Patrick's Day. And so I watched a couple St. Patrick's Day themed movies. My plan was to watch all of the Leprechaun movies over St. Patrick's Day weekend. Guess how many we got through? We got through the first two, and we're like, that's it. All right, we're done. Yeah, I had seen both of these before. Neither are that good. This entire series, I've seen all but 3 and 4. And the series isn't great. It's enjoyable to watch. They're all goofy as hell. That might be all I can say. I don't love these movies, but I have a ton of fun watching them. Would I say I'm a Leprechaun fan? Sure. Why not?
I would say I'm a Leprechaun fan. And I agree with you though. Like none of these movies are good. I just have a blast watching them. I think Warwick Davis is just tremendous in these movies. Like I think
Hmm.
he's really funny. I think he's fun to watch. I think he's appropriately menacing when it comes down to it. But
His makeup's incredible.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm kind of the same as you. I always get this grand illusion that I'm gonna binge them every St. Patty's, and then I make it through like one or two of them at a time. And I just kind of now skip around to whatever ones I haven't watched in a while or whatever. And I didn't even get to any this year. But my favorite is still Back to the Hood, which is
Yeah, the Hood
still one
movies
of
are
the
great.
first horror movies I ever watched. But yeah, I like the Leprechaun movies,
They're
but none of
fun.
them rise above like I think I gave I think I gave 2 like 3 stars and I called it the best of the series. And that's about where it's at. Like most of them are around that like 2.5 star level for me.
Yeah.
But they're fun to watch anyways.
After that, we decided, all right, we're done with Leprechaun. So on our kind of movie watching weekend, we myself, Kayla, and my buddy Dakota, we just did like, all right, each of us are going to pick a movie the other two haven't seen. So the first one we watched out of there is Grand Piano, which came out in 2013. It is written by Damien Chazelle, who did La La Land and Whiplash and Babylon.
I did not know that.
Stars Elijah Wood as this world-renowned pianist who is coming back to make a comeback performance during this concert that his wife is also attending, who is a very famous actress. But on stage during this, he hasn't performed in years and suffers from stage fright. And while he's there, there's a note written on his sheet music. And this comes from someone who's watching him from the top balcony and basically says, "You play or you die."
Ooh.
And so Elijah Wood puts in this earpiece and he's talking to the person who wrote him this note for pretty much the entire runtime of this movie. It's all set pretty much in that one location during the concert, so it's almost a real time kind of movie. which I really dig. It has some good tense moments. It is very, very inspired by Brian De Palma.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Just from what you're describing. I feel like I watched a trailer for this the year it came out. Like it sounds like vaguely familiar, but I know I've never actually watched it.
There's the classic De Palma. Is it like a split diopter where one thing's
Oh,
in
yep,
focus
yep.
on half of the screen, or two things are in focus on both sides of the screen? It has that shot in this movie. It looks incredible. That's one of the moments in this movie where I'm like, yeah, this is De Palma heavy, which is okay. It's not as good as obviously as a De Palma movie. The the third act I think is a bit lackluster. Kind of gets a little hokey, but it's fun. Yeah. So like if you're wanting a fun little thriller, check that one out. The next one I picked, which we talked about, I think last week or last episode, was the Karen Kusama's The Invitation.
Yeah, a
So the,
movie that I still have not watched yet and really need to.
you do. I've watched this probably. It's probably my third time watching it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, that's not no this is how it's going to go, and it's always not how I think it's going to go, even though I've seen the movie 3 times. It's that good.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I love this movie. Highly recommend. Super intense thriller. Probably could have done this with me and Kayla when we talked about cult movies too, so I think that
Mhm.
fits right in there. Yeah, Sam, check out The Invitation.
Yeah, it's
uh
been on the watch list for a while. I really like it's just one of those that I don't know why, but I've just taken my time getting around to.
Then my last one, again, is a movie I hadn't heard of. It is Antoine Fuqua's The Guilty, starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Mm,
It is basically about a police officer who is on dispatch in Los Angeles and receives a phone call about a kidnapped woman. And the movie takes place entirely at the dispatch center, and it is basically Jake Gyllenhaal by himself and just getting phone calls from people involved with the situation. So it is a movie that you can tell was shot during COVID era, which really lets it down. Looking at it now, 2 years removed from its release, but
mhm.
it's a decent fun thrill ride. It's elevated by Jake Gyllenhaal being on the screen the entire time, so you're focused on him the entire time. Yeah, I'd recommend it. It's a decent thriller.
Okay. I like decent thrillers.
Yeah.
They're
Sam,
fun.
that's it. That's all I've been doobie doing. What have you been doobie doing?
Well, for one thing, I've been watching a lot of Be Cool Scooby Doo lately. I was actually just watching some Be Cool Scooby Doo before I hopped on here. Um, I well, you and I both we talked about it a little bit, obviously, when we interviewed the filmmaker. We both watched Todd Tarantula.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, indie movie, psychedelic mystery by our buddy Ansel Faraj. I really dug this one. It's rotoscoped. It's got a weird visual vibe to it that I really liked, and it has a very moving father son story at the center of it that I thought was really I don't know really cool, a nice touch. Um, it wasn't just like, oh, a guy binges drugs and goes through LA. Like it had some substance to it, and I really appreciated that. And it also is about a guy who binges drugs and goes through LA. So there's a little something for everyone in it.
There is. Even if you're
Yeah,
into LA myths and mythology, there's some of that in this movie too.
yeah. Like he brings in like the real history of LA and everything. I really like this one.
And
It
maybe and maybe the not so real history of things that live under the streets of LA. I don't know.
yeah, yes, that too. And we found out after like literally the day after our interview went live that it is now streaming on Tubi for free. So you can check that out on Tubi. And yeah, I think Casey and I both recommend that you
Mhm.
would give that one a watch. It's cool. Support indie cinema. Um, I watched I watched Halloween H2O. I rewatched it
One of
with
the best
with
movies,
Maria.
one of the best horror movies of the 1990s.
it's a movie. I so
Definitive, Sam.
I Maria Maria had not seen this one yet. She'd seen a bit of it one night that we came over to your place. We were gonna watch Joe Bob, and it was just like on, I don't know, maybe Shutter TV or something.
No, I was
But
watching it.
oh, you were just watching it? Okay. So yeah, this movie, I still don't vibe with it. I don't know what it is. It bores me. I really wish I liked this one more. I know I'm in the minority on it, but like, man, it just feels like it happens and then it's over.
Yeah,
And I really
that's why I like
don't.
the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and like Halloween 2 has a similar vibe, like the 81 one, where it's like, oh, it just kind of happens and then it's over. But for some reason, that one, like to me, at least keeps me engaged throughout, where I like find myself just slipping out of H2O. There's something about it that doesn't connect with me. I really think the characters are boring. I don't think Jamie Lee's very good in this movie. I
It's her
really
best
don't.
performance of the series,
Oh no,
hands down.
my issues with 18 aside, I think that's still her best performance in any Halloween movie. But I don't know. This one just doesn't do it for me. I'm glad you like it though.
It's the fifth best horror movie of the 1990s.
Yeah, well, agree to disagree on that.
We can't disagree, Sam. We made a definitive
Yeah,
list
we
on
made the
Fat Dude Digs
definitive
Flicks
list.
podcast, and that's it. We have to stick to our guns.
Yeah. I watched Rogue, which is an Australian alligator movie from 2007. And it was fine. Some of the gator carnage was really fun. It for some reason wants its protagonist to be the most boring character in the entire like cast. You're following this guy around, and he's like supposed to be some rugged American travel writer, and he does not fit the part at all. And that's like all you know about him. And the like boat ride captain, she's kind of set up as like a badass who knows her way around the swamp, and she's like relegated to damsel in distress in the third act. And it's just really weird where I'm like, God, like if you would have flipped the two roles, like had the American writer be like, oh God, gator, and the gator comes and pulls him back to the lair, and then had the woman go in and save, like that at least makes sense with your characters. But it just, I don't know, it felt weird. It felt really weird.
Is
It
there at
was
least some
fine.
fun gator carnage? Because I honestly, we talked about shark horror. I think I like gator horror more than shark horror.
Yeah, I would recommend this just because like the gator stuff is really cool. Like it's really fun. It's a pretty big gator. You've got Sam Worthington in this movie, who's like he's the Steve Harrington character where he's introduced as this like asshole, and then he kind of becomes heroic. And then right when his character gets interesting, he's not really in the movie anymore, and that's
Hmm.
kind of a bummer. But like spoiler alert for this movie from 2007. Sorry. I don't know. Like I like the gator stuff. I'm pretty sure I gave this like 3 or 3.5 stars, maybe 3. I don't know. Worth checking out. The human stuff is really kind of boring though. But the gator stuff is awesome. I saw Arsenic and Old Lace. I went to the State Theater and saw that. That's one of Maria and I's favorite movies. It's an old screwball comedy from the 50s with Cary Grant. He has just gotten I don't think it's from it's from the 50s. He has just gotten married. He goes home to pack his suitcase and take his wife on a honeymoon. She lives like across the graveyard from him. And he finds a body in the window seat. And it's his aunts that have been killing these old men as like mercy killing, these lonely old men as like mercy killings. And they're so nonchalant about it. And they're known in town as like the sweetest old ladies. And it's just a really fun Cary Grant performance, really funny movie. I'm pretty sure it's based on a stage play, and it does feel very stage play like. It's all set pretty much in the same room for the entire thing, outside of a few different scenes at the beginning and some just kind of sprinkled sporadically throughout. But yeah, it's a fun movie. It's really fun. It's just a fun little like Halloween set murder mystery type of thing. It's not really a mystery. You know who's doing it, but it's the who knows what, and this revolving door of characters that's coming through this house, and then the arrival of two more murderers that kind of like throw wrenches in all of this plan, and it's really fun. It was a good movie to see with a crowd. Actually, I'd never seen it on the big screen before, and I had a really good time with it. So I recommend Arsenic and Old Lace if you're looking for something fun and kind of old school. I also rewatched Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, which I did not like when I saw it in theaters years ago, but I wanted to watch it before I watched the new one on Amazon because I wanted to see the new Jurassic World Dominion. Fallen Kingdom, I kind of did a 180 on. I really liked it this time around. It still has some issues. I still don't like the little clone girl stuff. Chris Pratt is very boring in this movie, but like everything on Isla Nublar is so good. Like I was riveted, even when they're pulling some Vin Diesel shit of like Chris Pratt jumping off a cliff and being okay and like all that. Whatever, fine. Like it's riveting. The shot of the long neck on the pier as the whole island's just engulfed in flames is heartbreaking. And I kind of actually liked the gothic horror second half this time around more than I did. I still think there are some insanely stupid things in this movie. I think the villain is terrible, but all the dino stuff for me was actually really great. I liked it, and I ended up walking away from that one kind of going, maybe I judged that one too harshly. I do not think the same thing will be said in a few years' time for Jurassic World Dominion, which is easily one of the worst blockbusters I've seen in recent years. It forgets it's a Jurassic Park movie halfway through. It's about locusts that don't even eat people, they just eat crops. Okay, that's fine. Why is that in a Jurassic Park movie? Why is that the main focus of the second half? Why are the dinosaurs an afterthought? Why all of a sudden is this movie over and it's just wrapping up with some stupid voiceover with some like digitally altered National Geographic footage that shows dinosaurs next to like elephants and stuff? What is this? I did not like Dominion at all. I don't recommend it. Fallen Kingdom, just okay. Jurassic Park should have been the end of this franchise.
I was gonna say there's only one movie in this series, Sam. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
You have a
love
fever dream
a
after
lot of the
watching Jurassic
sequels.
Park?
I actually like some of the sequels. I mean, Fallen Kingdom being one. I think 2 and 3 are actually pretty fun. But like, if there was ever a movie that just didn't ever need a sequel and could stand on its own, it's the first Jurassic Park. And every movie, whether I've enjoyed it or not since then, has just confirmed that for me. So yeah, I don't recommend Dominion. Fallen Kingdom, I don't know, might be worth a shot, even if you didn't like it like me. I think, especially compared to Dominion, it's like Citizen Kane. Yeah, and then my last two things, I watched a couple of 80s horror blind spots, 80s slasher blind spots. One in prep for this tier ranking that we're doing. I watched The Prowler from 1981. This movie is brutal and graphic, and those Savini effects are incredible, and I really liked it. I really liked it. I think it has the potential to go up from like a 3.5 to like a 4, even 4.5. Like, I don't know. Maybe it'll be 5 in a couple of years' time if I watch it a little bit more and really fall in love with it. I think it's got that potential. Intruder, I don't think has as much potential, which is the other one I watched. I still liked it. I think it's really funny. I think it's got a really great cast of characters, and some very humorous edits throughout that I really liked. The kill sequences are all great. The practical effects are amazing. And then the ending happens and it kind of leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth. Still enjoyed it enough to give it a recommendation. It did not like the ending very much though. So that's that.
I need to give both of those a rewatch. I've only seen Prowler and Intruder once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a while since I've watched both of those. I feel like I'm going to like both a lot more. I really like Prowler. I, for some reason, gave Intruder like 2 stars when I watched it. I feel like it's much better than that. I don't know. I need to rewatch it. The setting for that movie is like my selling point because I'm like, oh, that's so cool. It's a like overnight shift at a grocery store. That's such a great setting for a slasher.
Yeah.
But why are they?
They like
Why are they?
actually make full use of it.
Yeah, but it's like, why are they there overnight?
it's to like set up for a sale or something like that.
Oh,
It was really funny actually. About halfway through the movie, Maria looks at me and she goes, "Is it just me or is this movie really sad?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I'm having fun with it." And she's like, "But it's like a bunch of people making horrible wages, being forced to work overnight and dying because of it." And I'm like, "Well, when you put it like that, like, yeah, it's a pretty sour movie."
you're like, yeah, but look at Sam Raimi. He's so goofy in this movie.
But that guy got his face cut open by a bread cutter. Like, and then, I'm just gonna show off a stack of nice crisp VHSs that
Oh yeah,
my co-host and buddy Casey picked up for me while he was
look at
out
those.
shopping.
They're all
Yeah,
upside down, but yes,
all upside down. Why are they all upside down? Is this?
there
There
you
we
go.
go. Yeah, we got Fright Night, Urban Legend, Evil Dead 2, The Craft, Bats, which I still haven't seen, but I really want to. I love 90s creature features. And speaking of 90s creature features, Anaconda, which that's a cheesy movie, but snakes are another one of my big fears, like big phobias. And
Anaconda
they're
rules.
worse. Anaconda does rule. I have not watched it since middle school, but I remember it terrifying me. Especially seeing, is it like Owen Wilson gets like swallowed by it and you like see him go down the like,
All
oh.
you hear is just like him going into the snake's guts, and you just wow.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's it holds up. It definitely holds up.
I'm excited to check it out. Like snake horror is difficult for me because unlike shark horror, where I can be like, well, I live in the Midwest, like snake horror, you're like, yeah, no, I'm in the middle of the snake pit. So, but yeah, that's all I've been doing.
Cool. I don't have anything else. I don't have any recent purchases of anything. So we are going to move on
Yeah.
to the main event for the evening. I am very excited for
Our
this, Sam.
tier ranking.
All right, let's bring it up on the screen. Hopefully, this goes off without a hitch. Don't
Yes.
need Will Smith involved with this at all, either hitch or at the Oscars. Again, let's reiterate how these work. If people don't know how these things work, we're going to be kind of walking through this. But if also you want the visual side of it, please check us out on YouTube for that. But we're going to be tier ranking the slasher villains of classic horror films. Loose definition on classic for Sam and I.
Yeah.
Again, how it works is we have 5 tiers. At the top is the S tier. Sam, what does the S tier stand for?
Slash tast. Dang it. Slash superior. That's right.
Slash tastic slash pure.
I forgot what the actual S is usually standing for on these, and I was like, oh god, I said slash something. Yeah. Slash superior.
That's the top. After that is the A tier. Sam, what does the A tier stand for? Throwing you on the spot.
A tier is for absolutely awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
B tier is right after that. Sam, what does the B tier stand for?
That character crazy.
C tier right after that.
Cool, but eh.
And last but not least, well, it is least, D tier.
Dick.
Just the dick tier.
This slasher character is just a dick.
All right. I feel bad for whoever's going to fall in that. So how it's going to work, I'll read off the names here because you can't really see all the pictures perfectly. And obviously, if you're listening to the podcast, you're not going to be able to see the pictures at all. So I'll read off the names, and then I think we can just jump right into it.
Oh, yeah.
So again, we have 25 slasher villains from iconic horror films. These slasher villains include Michael Myers from Halloween, and we are going to include all iterations of these characters. I think we need to throw that out there too, that all iterations count towards where they will end up on this list.
Oh, yeah.
After that, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Ghostface, Scream, Chucky from the Child's Play series, Candyman from the Candyman series, Jigsaw / John Kramer from the Saw series, Leprechaun from the Leprechaun series, Pinhead from the Hellraiser series, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers, Norman Bates from the Psycho series, the Puppet Master puppets, all of them. We're including every single one from the Puppet Master series. Obviously, number one on this list, the Killbots from Chopping Mall. Yes, they count.
Yeah.
Billy from Black Christmas, Angela from Sleepaway Camp, the Miner from My Bloody Valentine, the Driller Killer from Slumber Party Massacre, Art the Clown from Terrifier, Leslie Vernon from The Rise of Leslie Vernon, Babyface Killer from Happy Death Day, Victor Crowley from the Hatchet series, the Prowler from The Prowler, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and last but not least, Sam from Trick or Treat.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, I tried to randomize these on our tier thing, and I will probably just go from right to left.
That sounds great.
So first up, he's one of the OGs of this series, kicking off our slasher villains tier ranking. The one, the only, Michael Myers. So again, we are including every iteration of Michael Myers, which is 13 movies, correct?
Yeah, I think so. 13.
13 movies. You have many actors playing this role. You include the original timeline, the the Thorn trilogy, the H2O timeline, the Rob Zombie series, and then the David Gordon Green timeline. Oh my God, Michael Myers, you are like a choose your own adventure book.
Yes. And
go ahead.
You know, Michael Myers is like the villain of maybe my favorite movie on this in all of these, like Halloween. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Post Halloween though, Michael Myers kind of takes a dip in certain areas. I mean, he gets his ass kicked like twice. Once by Busta Rhymes and then the other by Corey Cunningham. And now like I loved Halloween Ends. We don't have to get into that. But like Michael wasn't a huge threat in Halloween Ends.
I was just
like Halloween Ends wasn't about that, you know.
The spoiler level for Halloween Ends, I think, is over, so we can kind of talk about that. Yeah, he's a bitch in that movie.
Yeah. He gets his ass handed to him, and the thing is in my opinion, it worked for the movie. I get that, but like, it brings him down a little bit on this list, right?
Yeah.
There's some real stinkers in the Halloween franchise, and I love Halloween. I love a lot of the sequels. There's some real stinkers in there.
Are we making a controversial decision right away?
We might be. I'm kind of thinking like Michael Myers goes like in B category almost.
B, okay.
Is that what were you thinking?
Okay, so before we started talking, like immediately he's going S tier, one of the best all time, Michael Myers. But when I mentioned,
if we're counting all of it, you know,
but we're counting all of it. 1 and 2, we're still sitting good. 4, we're sitting good. 5, regardless of the movie, still sitting pretty good. 6, where he becomes a pariah for a cult. We start to lose a little steam. I like that movie a lot, but it's not because of Michael Myers, really. Oh no.
He's
H2O.
A wiener in H2O.
What's that?
He's a wiener in H2O.
Hey, he does like a one-arm pull down in that movie, like a badass.
Yeah, okay, that part was cool. But he also gets his head lopped off like a little.
He does. Well, it's not him, Sam. We're including all the movies.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
it's technically not him.
It's technically not him.
He also has like 7 different masks in H2O, so I think that can take it down a little. Halloween, Rob Zombie movies. We have to include those too.
Honestly, the least I don't have as big of a problem with Michael Myers in those. I guess maybe second one.
I do in the second one, especially him like grunting like a crazy person and not wearing his mask. but I like that
Yeah.
movie a lot. Then the new
The
movies.
Tyler Mane in the first Rob Zombie one is really good. Um,
I'm
and then
okay.
yeah,
I'm okay with leaving Michael here for now. I think we should come back to him when we get.
I don't know. Does he deserve A just because Halloween is that good?
I think we're gonna eventually put him in A, so let's just put him there.
Yeah, let's put him in A. Let's put him in A. We
Okay,
won't we won't be super
there we go.
controversial right off the bat.
No. Oh, yeah, we will, Sam. Next up, the Creeper from Jeepers
Oh,
Creepers.
this is the only one that I will say I want to give this one a D. And I know you disagree with me. I have a very hard time separating this character from his creator. I am aware of that. I I can't watch these movies anymore. I can't do it, and I don't like it. They give me an icky feeling, and not a good icky feeling, and that's where I'm coming from. But I know you're different, and I'm willing to maybe budget up a little bit if you make a compelling argument.
Listen, I'm not gonna be like, all right, the Creeper needs to go to A tier. He's one of the best, but I will say the stuff with Victor Salva, I obviously didn't know about before I watched the first two movies because I had watched those in middle school, high school time, and
Yep,
immediately loved those. Thought he was at the time up there with like Ghostface, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger.
yep.
That was also two movies in where those two movies I think still hold as those are really great slasher movies with a fun mythology.
Hmm.
Then three happened, which was a terrible schlocky garbage sci-fi movie, and Jeepers Creepers Reborn, which was barely a movie. Uh, I will argue he should go higher than D tier. I would say he should go in C tier though, just because those first two movies, he has an incredible look. The makeup on him is great. The mythology of the character, I think, is better than most of any of these other slasher characters we're going to be talking about. Also, I love how his not only mythology but like kind of powers, like how he operates as a villain, change and evolve at least in the first two movies. I'm not going to defend three or four, but I think he's worth putting in at least C.
I mean, if you really feel that way, I would be okay with C. I mean, I've said my piece. I don't
I'm
know.
putting
I
him
don't like
towards
these ones.
the end of C. I think
Okay.
we can order these a little bit closer to like how high in the individual
Yeah.
tiers they go in. I'll put him towards the end
Yeah.
for now.
He's like a C minus. There we go.
Yeah, he's a
Because
passing
I
grade, but barely. You need to go talk to the school counselor.
Yes. And I do agree with you. Like there are some iconic things from those first two movies. I remember watching them when I was in middle school and thinking like they were pretty fucking scary and they were
Mhm.
gory and gross. But like I just haven't been able to go back to them. So I can't really defend I can't defend either way. So this I think is perfect. It's
Yeah.
fine.
All right. Next up, Sam. We're gonna get controversial again.
Okay.
Killbots from Chopping Mall.
Okay, so this is where I'm gonna get real controversial. I love the Killbots. I think they're an S tier. If I had my choice, this is where I'm coming from. If I had my choice of a life-size replica of like any of these characters to put in my apartment, I would pick a Killbot, hands
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
But that's because it's me, you know? Like I love that movie. Without the Killbots, there's no RoboCop. I will say it. I mean that. I don't care. I'm not trying to start anything, but RoboCop would not exist without Chopping Mall.
So you okay? That okay? That's your argument.
I'd be willing to bring him down to an A, but that's the lowest I'll go.
Okay. You know how much I love Chopping Mall.
Yes, I
This
know.
I feel like
It's a
that's the
B movie.
it's a B movie. I feel like these are a B tier slasher villain. One, we're already controversial including them on this list, period, for being a slasher villain when they shoot laser beams out of their eyes. Uh, but all their kills are cool. There's a head explosion.
Hmm.
There's only one movie, which I don't know if it helps or hurts this movie. I don't.
It helps.
It
It's never
probably helps, but
they've never been diluted. They've never been a cult or in two really awful, horrible, barely movies.
that's true. They're there for 80 minutes. They're in and out, done. That's it.
They're very polite. They want you to have a nice day,
They are.
even after the credits roll.
I think B tier is what I'm leaning towards. Just because we already have Michael Myers in A, and there's no way I think that the Killbots are on the level of Michael Myers.
I do, but okay, fine. We'll do B plus tier.
I was gonna say they're the top. They're the top of B tier for sure.
The one shot of like when right before the head explosion, when what's her face, the blonde finds her boyfriend, and like the killbot bursts out of the back doors, and there's all that fog billowing
Yeah,
out behind him and the cool lights. I'm like, oh, that's a cooler shot than what we've gotten in most of Michael Myers in most of those movies.
sure. All right, next up, Billy from Black Christmas. I've included a picture of Billy from the Bob Clark 70
Oh
through
shit. Yeah.
74, 73. What
But
year
we're
did this
also
come out?
in but we're also including the '06 version, aren't we?
We are also including Yellow Billy.
Okay, see. He, he'd be an A if it was just the 74.
I so the thing that's curious about Billy from Black Christmas, you don't know a lot about him, especially in the first movie.
Which is his
He
strength.
It is a strength. You know, he is a male with at least one eye and arms and legs, and he's a pervert.
And he's a pretty good voice actor.
He is. Besides that, you don't know anything else about Billy, and he is. I would argue out of everyone on this list, he is the scariest.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
easily.
like, he cannot go in C tier, just because
Yeah,
of
but
that. But
yeah,
I'm also a defender of the Black Xmas movie with
yeah.
skin yellow skinned Billy and his weirdo incest family. He's not as scary, but he's a fun mid 2000s slasher villain who eats human cookies on Christmas and dips them in milk. I'm talking myself into A tier for Billy, but I think he should at least be B tier.
Yeah, I think for me, '07 at least lowers him down into B tier. I agree. Like 74. Honestly, if it was just the 74, he might be S tier. Like he's that scary in that movie. I have no connection to him with the
Yellow skin.
'07 remake. Yeah.
Yeah, B tier. We can put him behind Killbots. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right,
I
next up.
mean, in my head, I know that Killbots are better than all of these, but
Hey, we're being diplomatic. This
we
is
are.
the definitive list. We already put Michael Myers in A when I think most people would argue he's S. But
Yeah.
next up, The Miner from My Bloody Valentine, including the OG and My Bloody Valentine 3D.
That's hard because I love both of those
Hmm.
movies. Even though I know the remake isn't as good, like I think the miner is one of the best parts of the remake. Like I think he's scary in the remake. I love the shot where Jensen Ackles is, I mean, spoilers for My Bloody Valentine, but when Jensen Ackles is coming down the hall, hitting all the lights, and with every light flash, you see like the miner pop up on him. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I just the miner is terrifying in so many ways that like slasher villains aren't, because you really like until the unmasking, it's a little bit pre-scream. The first one is anyways, where it's you're unmasking someone, you're trying to figure out who it is, who's in this miner suit. It could be anyone. And I think that's the really terrifying thing about it. I think you lose a little bit of that in the remake just by the fact that it's a remake and someone is going to be behind the mask.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I'm leaning between A and B for the minor, honestly.
I think he has to go in A.
I think so too.
I'm honestly leaning between A and S tier because the best parts of the remake of My Bloody Valentine are still the minor.
Yep.
It has, I guess it's for me, it's a little diluted by the reveal of who the minor is, I guess, in the remake.
Yeah.
Um, but I do love that there's, especially in the original, you had this mythology of Harry Warden,
Mhm.
and you're just expecting it to be him because you're kind of been taught to in these slashers. This comes out in the height of the slasher boom that whatever the mythology is, that's who it is. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. That's who they're going to be. Is who the mythology is set up. This campfire tale type story. But the fact that it is a twist at the end and makes logical sense, I I think we got to put him in A.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like the minor. I really like I almost rewatched this beforehand. When I watched The Prowler, it gave me very much My Bloody Valentine vibes,
Yeah.
and it made me kind of want to throw My Bloody Valentine on right after it. And if that doesn't tell you like what kind of movie and what kind of character the minor is, I don't know what does, you know.
hmm All right, next up, Angela from Sleepaway Camp. Again, we are including all the movies. So, two Felissa Roses and two. Who's the other gal that plays her?
I don't know. I'm gonna level with you. I have not seen any of the sequels to Sleepaway Camp. I have
Okay,
only ever seen the first one.
I have two. So I guess we're. I don't know if that'll change my ranking.
Yeah.
I don't know
What were
about
you
you.
thinking for
I'm
her?
leaning towards C tier because it is Sleepaway Camp is a fun movie. It's got some fun kills. Looking at you curling iron scene.
Hmm.
Um, and the reveal is iconic.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the sequels. In terms of the history of slasher movies, Angela's never really talked about towards the top, and I agree with that. Um,
Yeah. I feel like the end reveal is more talked about than Angela herself being
yeah,
the like slasher character, you
that's
know?
the reason you watched the movie. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good with C as well.
You can put Angela towards the top of C for now.
Yeah, towards the top of C because she's gonna be a lot better than I think some of the other ones that we'll put in C. So,
All right, next up, we got some heavy hitters coming up. Here we
oh
go.
shit, we really do.
Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh,
Hmm. God, what do you do? Like he's got such a yo-yoing franchise.
yeah. There's some movies that really take him down a notch.
And you've
Unfortunately,
got the first two. You've got the new one. I think he's fucking fantastic in the new one.
yep.
Ugh. And like the thing is when I think Leatherface, I don't think of a lot of the like awful stuff. I like the forefront of my mind is all the awesome stuff.
Mhm. I'm
And I
gonna.
know you don't like Texas Chainsaw 3D, but I think he's got some great moments in that too, you
He has
know?
some fun moments. Do your thing, cuz.
Yeah.
No. Leatherface, the movie just called Leatherface, the prequel, really takes it down for me.
Which that's one of my blind spots. I have not gotten to that one yet.
And I guess not like really takes it down, but takes it down from being like, oh my god, every iteration of Leatherface is great to obviously not every iteration because it's not. Leatherface is an awful movie. I think A. I think we got to put him right behind the minor.
Yep, I agree with that. Because even like the remake, the '03 remake, the scene of him stitching his mask onto his face is just so like, oh, it's so grotesque and iconic already. Like, I don't know.
Next Generation, when he's chasing Renee Zellweger at the end, and he's got this dress on. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's A tier for
Yeah.
sure.
I love cross-dressing Leatherface. I love when he's got the makeup and the
That's my favorite
dresses.
Leatherface.
Yep. Yep.
Next up, Pinhead, Hellraiser.
Pinhead. Okay, so Hellraiser is I've seen 1 and 2 and I've seen the new one, and I know there's a lot of straight to video
hmm
dreck in between those. Judging off of what I've seen, I'd say Pinhead is like a B or an A, but I know that what I haven't seen probably knocks Pinhead down quite a bit.
Yeah, I haven't seen all of them either. But I'll also be honest with you when I'm watching at least the first two Hellraiser movies. It's not because of Pinhead that I love those movies.
Yeah,
I
I
know
would
he's
agree
the
with that.
face of it. He's the iconic character you pair with it.
Hmm.
but it's not the reason I'm going to a Hellraiser movie, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I think you're right. Like, I think that a lot of people, they like the Cenobites. The Cenobites are cool,
Yeah.
but I feel like with Hellraiser, it's more the atmosphere and the mood and the like intense, gory kills, um, and the like
The
the sexual
pleasure, yeah, I was going to
underpinnings.
say this,
Yeah, like
overtones, Sam.
overtones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's nothing under. Yeah, there's no subtext. It's all text.
This
Um,
sucks because we haven't seen any of the really bad movies, but some of the stuff I have seen from those is probably got to knock them down. I'm
See,
leaning between B and C.
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning. Here's the thing, too. Hellraiser is not my franchise. Like all of those movies for me that I have seen, they're not my thing. Um, I don't know. I'm okay with C. I'm okay with C. I think that's gonna rile up some internet
I
hoodlums.
think so too. We'll put him at he should be at the top of C at least.
Yes. Yeah. Also,
Candyman.
Jamie Clayton's Pinhead is tremendous, and if it was just the 22, I think I would put her version of Pinhead in A or B. I just want to make that clear because she's the best part of that new movie, easily.
Yeah, yeah. Next up, Candyman. I have
A.
seen all of these. If we were going off the first film, I mean, we're looking at probably S tier.
Yep.
2 is pretty good still. 3,
Hmm.
uh,
Three's the only one I think I haven't seen. I've seen
3,
two,
3 is not good. And like really not good. It's bad. It's a bad movie.
but is
Uh,
Tony Todd still good in
yes, yes.
it?
I know we're not basing these off the movies. Where are you feeling? I'm feeling.
I think Candyman's incredible.
I
Like
think
he
he's
is
got
one
to
of the
go.
scariest
He's got to
to
go
me.
A tier. I think.
He has to, right?
I think he's gonna go right behind Leatherface. That's what I'm feeling.
I mean, also no other horror icon has given me chills the way Tony Todd does in the final moment of the new Candyman.
Yeah, it's a fist
Like,
pumping moment.
yeah, it's tremendous. Yeah, that new Candyman's so good.
It is.
Nia DaCosta knocked it out of the park.
Next up, here we go. The Driller Killer.
Oh, and I love that you put in the Driller Killer from 2
It's the
because
best one.
yeah, he's the best one.
What other? None of these other slasher villains sing and dance their way through killing teens.
No, absolutely not. None of them stopped their final chase for a rockabilly number. It's tremendous.
Is he
Um,
in? I think there's 4 Sleepaway Camp movie or Slumber
yeah,
Party Sisters. Sorry.
there's 4 because there's the original trilogy and then there's the new one that Sci-Fi just made. Which God, that one's great too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen the only one I haven't seen once again is 3.
I haven't either. Is he in 3?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. But having seen, I'm sure he is. I'm sure it's like another driller killer, right?
Yeah.
Even
Yep.
if it's
Okay.
not.
Yeah. I looked it up. It is.
Okay. I don't know. The thing is with those Slumber Party Massacre movies too, those are like 100% B movies.
Yeah.
That said, our B tier, I know
We're
this is a
doing it,
weird
Sam. He's
list
going B tier.
already.
He's going B. He's going
Is he
B.
going B?
He's
Okay.
right after Billy.
He's going above Pinhead?
He's
Okay,
going
we'll do
above
it.
Pinhead. Pinhead doesn't have a rock and roll number in the third act of any of the Hellraiser movies.
No, he doesn't. This is our list, damn it.
It is. All right. He's the Driller Killer. He's going B. Next up, we're gonna get dicey here, I think.
We're gonna get dicey here. Mr. Frederick Krueger.
Frederick Krueger.
Um
Oh no.
Man, how do you do this? Because he's in some of the best movies of all time, and he's also in some of the worst.
He's in one bad one.
Oh, there are a couple.
But here's what I will say. Okay, I'll quickly run through these. I'm not going to make any notion uh, that I want him anywhere but S tier because I think he should be an S tier. And here's my argument.
Hmm.
Obviously, one, iconic, scary,
Yes.
terrifying. Two, the scariest Freddy has ever been. Three, when we start to get to MTV Freddy, welcome to prime time, bitch. Four, still MTV Freddy, one of my favorites there. Five, also throw in MTV Freddy there. Six is starting to. I can see your arguments
Hmm.
with Freddy's Dead, where he looks like
But
a cartoon character, but he's also
then
in a
New
group.
Nightmare comes back, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, and
And
Freddy
even
vs.
like,
Jason, he's still
yeah,
great. He's still Freddy. The remake, the best part is Freddy Krueger.
yeah, I agree
He-
with that. I actually really like Jackie Earl Haley as Freddy. I've
I do
always stood
too.
by that, even if the movie around him is very disappointing, and I don't like some of the writing that they've done with the character, especially like the confirming, like, oh yeah, he was a child molester. Like that just gives it an icky
Icky.
vibe.
Yeah.
But the
The perf-
performance is still great. I'm okay putting Freddy at S tier.
he
I
should
think
go
Freddy
S
is
tier, I
a
think.
like even if Nightmare isn't my favorite series, Freddy's one of the best characters we've ever gotten.
He is. And what I also love is like even in the bad ones, you learn something new about Freddy.
Yeah,
In pretty much
yeah.
every movie, you learn something new about Freddy, which I think
Hmm.
you can't say for a lot of, especially long running horror characters.
Oh, agreed. Agreed.
Next up, Leslie Vernon, one and done. Leslie,
I know you and I have a little slightly differing opinions on Behind the Mask. I think it's fine. I was gonna rewatch it before this episode just because like I know that I'm in the minority when I say I'm just not a big fan of that movie. But for me, he's easily C tier.
I like the movie a lot. I also agree. Yeah, I'm not going to be too egregious and put him over Pinhead or even Angela.
Yeah,
I think he should probably
yeah,
be the next one there. I think it's unique that he is like a mockumentary slasher, though.
yeah. I
And
do
that's
think that like there's a uniqueness to it, and that's good. I just it doesn't work. What they do with him doesn't necessarily work for me, I
yeah.
guess.
And there's also only one movie, and it's not really about the slasher part of it. It's about like the meta take on slashers.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Next up, then, should we run through what we're at first? I think we're about
Yeah,
halfway.
let's run through what we at before run through where we're at before I make a compelling case for another S tier slasher.
Okay, we're just gonna put them there.
Okay.
If you're not, if you're only listening, well, we'll announce it right here. S tier, Freddy Krueger, and the one I just put there. I don't think there's any argument against this guy being an S tier because in every iteration,
He's the
he's the best
he's the
part.
best part.
He's
Even the crappy remake.
And I haven't seen that. I will trust you on that. It has to be better than the Nightmare on Elm Street one. We put Chucky
Mark
in.
Hamill is tremendous as a different take on Chucky.
Yeah,
It's not Brad Dourif, but it's something pretty cool in its own right. So
Chucky is S tier. So
yeah.
in the S tier, Freddy Krueger, Chucky. In the A tier, Michael Myers, the Miner, Leatherface, and Candyman. B tier, Killbots, Billy from Black Christmas, and the Driller Killer from Slumber Party Massacre. C tier, Pinhead, Angela, Leslie Vernon. C minus, the Creeper.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
All right,
I
Sam.
I feel like people are gonna be like, what are they doing?
They're gonna be like, this is a Casey and Sam list.
Yep, 100%.
It 100% is. We have Freddy and Chucky at the top of it. I mean,
Yeah. If this
Sam,
list
you're gonna
surprises you, you don't know us.
you don't know it. You will after this episode.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the baby face killer from Happy Death Day. Sam, you're gonna probably be mad at my argument. I don't know why I put him on here. I think he just popped up on a list. somewhere of like iconic slasher characters.
Are
I
you gonna
think he sh-
suggest D?
I think he should be our first D.
What?
He is the least interesting part of both Happy Death Day movies. Also, I don't
That's
remember
fair.
any kills from them because they are PG-13 movies. The kills are pretty unmemorable.
So I'll give you that on 2, but I think he's got some pretty sweet sequences in 1. Um,
But you're not watching the Happy Death Days for
yeah, you're watching him for Jessica Roth for Tree.
and I
Um,
can't say that for any other character we have on this list.
yeah. Ah, so here's the thing. The Happy Death Day movies are so special to me. Like I love them both. Um, but I'm not necessarily gonna disagree with you on D. Um, Babyface, it's a wicked fucking mask. Like I love the mask. The design just like I don't know. It's hard for me to put it at a D, but I I don't necessarily disagree either.
Okay, I think he's got to go D.
Okay,
Just
we'll
because
do
of
D.
I mean, we should probably have a person in D. Unfortunately, he's the dick here, the babyface killer. But yeah, he's not the reason you're going to be watching these movies.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely more final girl centric.
Yeah. All right. Next up, then we have Art the Clown from Terrifier.
I'm gonna kind of defer to you on this one because I'm not gonna lie. I don't care for the first Terrifier. I don't think I even finished it. Um, I thought it was pretty just nasty and mean and not my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw his segment in like All Hallows Eve a while back. Um, back when Netflix actually had a horror selection years ago. And I still have not seen Terrifier 2 yet because I did not like the first one enough to where I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch a damn near 3-hour movie about this. So I don't know. If I had to, I wouldn't put him down in D because I think the look and the performance are already iconic. I think that's the reason that people are going. And it's definitely a makeup design that draws you in. But as far as like my actual enjoyment of watching said character, I'd put him at a C.
Okay. You're not gonna like this then.
I know because you're gonna put him like way higher. You're gonna put him in A, aren't you?
I argue him for A. Um, because I think we are now at the point where you can call him an iconic slasher villain. He's two feature films and a short into the character. What I will argue is he has some of the most memorable kill scenes of any slasher villain.
Yeah. He feels the most like it feels to me like he is the closest new slasher villain to come close to that like Freddy Michael Jason like fever pitch
Level.
of like yeah like you've got Chucky, you've got Freddy, you've got Michael, you've got Jason, all these people with like these long running franchises. This feels like maybe we're back in like 1982 and we've only gotten a couple of Freddy movies, but everybody already kind of has that Freddy fever pitch.
Hmm.
Like people are really excited for Terrifier 3. I can't say I'm one of them, but I know that there are a lot of people that are. And so yeah, I get it. I get A. I get the argument for A. I'd be okay putting him in A.
That's where I'm leaning, just because
I yeah.
he is at that point. I think the next two characters are the closest since the '80s boom
Mhm.
that we got to that classic character. Also, I argue Art the Clown is terrifying.
He is. He's scary.
He's
He is very scary.
scary, but
I
he's also very enjoyable to watch, and that's a hard balance. And I can't think of really anyone that has that. Maybe Freddy,
yeah.
where they're
See,
funny, but also, oh my god, you're terrifying.
and that's where I have issues is like I just don't find it fun to watch like art. At least what I've seen. Like I said,
Not
I have
even
not
riding a
watched
little
Terrifier
tricycle in
2.
the first movie?
Okay, I mean, that was pretty funny, but I don't know. I
Or
Here's
the
the thing.
faces he makes
What
in
I
the like pizza place?
when I looked at this list and I saw Art the Clown on here, I kind of knew. I was like, he's gonna be an A tier. Like, and I didn't say that as like, oh, Casey's gonna put him A tier. I said that as like,
That's
I
where he
don't know how
should
you
be.
can't put him A tier, even like just my personal feelings aside. I don't know how you can't. Um, yeah,
I
I just
think he's
have to speak my piece and say, in my heart, he's C level, but I know in reality, he's an A.
and I'll put him at the bottom of A. I think
Yeah, he
Candyman,
hasn't he
Leatherface,
hasn't
Minor are above him still.
quite earned the top spots in A yet, but he's getting into that league, I'd say. Yeah,
Mhm. All right, next up is Ghostface from the Scream franchise. Um,
S tier.
yeah, I don't know. I was just gonna say, I don't know about you. I'm feeling like we don't have an argument besides S tier, right?
Yeah, like honestly, Ghostface, Scream is aside from the Chucky movies, I think Scream is the most consistent slasher franchise. I'd actually say even almost more so than Chucky.
Yeah,
Um,
because Seed is in there.
yeah, yeah. Well, agree to disagree on Seed, but but yeah, yeah. No, I Ghostface is incredible. I mean, you can listen to us talk at length about Ghostface for the last on our last episode. Well, speaking
Yeah,
of which, I didn't put this in my recently watched, but I watched Scream 2 last night as well. That movie's a 5-star banger. I don't understand people who don't say it's on par with the original. Scream 2 rules.
Scream 2 does rule, and I'm kind of in the camp that I like and some of them I love the killer reveals. There's none that I'm like, okay, that's
Hmm.
stupid. F this movie. There's none
Yeah,
that I feel that way about.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, for Timothy Oliphant yelling Billy's mother, S tier.
He's great. He's great.
The Prowler. I'm gonna defer to you first because I haven't
Okay.
watched this in a while. Where are you feeling for the Prowler?
So here's the thing with this movie. I watched it because I saw him on the list. I messaged you. You were like, the Prowler's great. I watched the Prowler. I love this movie. It's tremendous. I think the star of this movie are the visual effects more so than the character himself. He's terrifying.
He's got a good
Um,
look.
he does. He's got a good look. It's hard for me. Okay, so I know it's probably just because I've watched this second. These movies came out in the same year, but it feels derivative of the minor from My Bloody Valentine at times.
Yeah.
And I get that it's like same year, so it probably isn't actually derivative. It's just in my mind. I can't get that out of my head. I watched My Bloody Valentine first. This one, it just diminished my like shock and awe. There are a couple of really great scenes. Like there's one where he's like at the top of a staircase and it's backlit and like, oh my god, it's terrifying. Like his silhouette with the pitchfork.
Hmm.
Um,
What a cool weapon too.
yeah. Oh yeah. Just having the killer be like, using a pitchfork is so nasty, you know?
And something we
Um,
haven't talked about yet, and we can kind of talk about it here because I think this is one of the definitive characters when I'm talking about this of a look and a weapon. Of like it's kind of like when you're creating like a superhero. Like what are
yeah.
they gonna look like and what's their superpower?
Yep.
Here it's like what are they gonna look like and what's their weapon? Freddy's got his glove,
He's
Michael's
gonna
got
be an
his.
army guy with a pitchfork.
Yeah, he's an army guy with a pitchfork. How cool is that? Like the miner he's a miner with a pickaxe. That's
Yep.
so cool. Candyman is wearing a fur leather coat or a fur coat and a hook.
Yep.
The driller killer has a guitar drill.
Yeah. And I think that's where I would probably put the Prowler is like right
He-
around where the Driller Killer is in
yeah,
B.
I think
Like
he.
yeah,
Do you think? I think he could go above
I think so too. I think so too. Yeah.
driller killer after Billy from Black Christmas.
Cause yeah, the Prowler, like, oh man,
Rules.
that movie is brutal. I love it. Like, oh,
I feel good about that spot.
Yeah, me too.
Next up, again, I think another controversial one like Chopping Mall, Killer Clowns
Yeah,
from Outer Space. Are they slasher characters?
not
Up for de-
technically.
Up for debate, but it's our list. Deal with it. Uh, Man, I don't know where you're feeling, but uh, I'm feeling we have to. It is our list. It's
Yeah.
characters we love.
It's
Again,
hard because a lot of these characters for me, like personally, I'm like, oh God, like I love all of them. I would put them all in like S or A.
you're wearing a Killer Clowns from Outer Space
I'm
T-shirt.
literally wearing a Killer Clown shirt. Yeah. I love this movie. And I have for a very, very long time. Um, I
Iconic
guess,
look,
yeah, that like
iconic,
the suits, the makeup.
iconic weapons. They make
Hmm.
cotton candy cocoons. They drank people's blood out of those cotton candy cocoons. They have
And
little popcorn monsters.
they have like a massive they've had a massive resurgence in the last
Hmm.
couple of years, especially with like Spirit Halloween carrying so much Killer Clowns merch. Like people are discovering this movie, people are falling in love with it. They just had their own Halloween Horror Nights house with a short film
Yeah,
where Shorty shrunk down and stepped on a car full of full of bros. It was great. And I think I have to put, oh my God, I kind of want to put them in S tier just because I feel like they're so iconic. But I also like, they've only got one movie.
hmm
I kind of want to put them in A. I want to put our Killer Clowns right next to Art the Clown a little bit.
that's where I'm leaning. Is behind Art the Clown or right above Chopping Mall?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like Chopping
Because
Mall
Killer
hasn't.
Clowns is definitely a B movie by design, too.
Yes, and it's in terms of pop culture and how relevant the movie is now in 2023. It's more relevant, way more relevant than Chopping Mall. Um, I think we're getting a sequel at some point from this movie. Um, Art, I'm cool. Art right behind Art the Clown.
Yeah.
Let's put our
That sounds
clowns next to
great.
each other. Yeah,
Hell
I think
yeah.
that works. They're enough of slasher that came out in the 80s. They're kind of a fun throwback to 50s sci-fi movies, but
Oh, yeah.
they're like the 50s sci-fi movies mixed with 80s slasher sensibilities.
Yes. Oh, God, we have some heavy hitters.
We do. Next up, then we got some big boys coming out. Maybe the biggest of them all, Jason Voorhees.
My heart says S. My heart is like screaming S. And I know that these movies aren't the best, but we're not talking about the movies. We're talking about the character.
Talking about the characters,
And
maybe
Jason
we
has so many cool iterations.
let's run through these very quickly, like we did with Freddy
Yes.
and Michael, because I think those are they're the big three. We already put Michael in A, not an S. We're crazy people.
We are.
But Jason Voorhees. So the first movie, you get Kid Jason jumping out of the lake. Iconic.
Yep. Yep.
Two, Sackhead Jason. Iconic.
Which Sackhead Jason to me is just still utterly terrifying.
He is
He might be
the
one of the
scariest Jason is.
scariest. Yeah. Yeah.
Three, we finally get the hockey mask.
Hmm. And some delicious 3D kills.
We do. Four, we get Corey Feldman hacking up Jason with one of the coolest ways Jason dies in this series.
Yeah. Sliding down the machete on his face.
Yep. Five is not Jason, so I don't think we need to count Roy in here,
No,
right?
I don't think we need to, even though I don't see how that would count against it because five rules and so does
Five,
Roy.
five does rule. Six, we get the picture I use, our boy, CJ Graham.
Yep.
Frankenstein Jason. Seven is the introduction of Kane. You get cool underwater Kane.
Yep.
Eight, you get my
The
favorite.
wet. Yeah.
But again, I said it in that episode. Jason is cool as hell. He looks cool. He's so goopy and gross.
Hmm.
The argument, I think, against S tier kind of comes in next with
With,
Jason Goes to Hell.
oh, but see, I love, so
I
here's the
I
thing.
Go ahead.
Jason Goes to Hell is one of the lower movies in the series for me.
Yeah.
Like probably bottom two. But the cold open to that movie is one of the coolest Jason sequences we've ever gotten. Like, in order to take him down, an entire freaking army has to essentially just blow him to pieces, and then he's still alive.
My argument against it is I really, really don't like the look of Jason in the beginning of that movie, where the mask is like, it's really tiny and it's like shrunken into his face.
Yeah, I get that. I get
It's not, I
that.
don't know. I just don't like the look of that. And again, it's not Jason for most of the movie. It's a weird thing that like inhabits people.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
mean,
then
I
you get
could
like
put him in A,
you
but
get Uber Jason. I
yeah.
think we go bottom of S.
Yeah, I think the bottom of S is perfect.
I don't love Jason Goes to Hell, but it's not as egregious as some of the stuff Michael is doing
Yes, I agree with that. I
in
agree with
terms
that
of
100%.
getting his ass kicked by Buster Rhymes.
Yes.
Jason does not. He gets blown up by the army. All right, next up. Again, I think we're gonna have another argument here, Sam, for where this one's gonna lay. Norman Bates from the Psycho series. Again, we are including every iteration of Norman
Which
Bates,
means which means the Vince Vaughn version.
which means Vince Vaughn. I would also argue we're throwing in Bates Motel into there too.
Oh, see, that doesn't count against it though. Bates Motel's fucking
No.
incredible.
I'm not either. I think that's gonna
Oh
help
yeah.
elevate it
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
Vince
because
Vaughn is so bad as
Freddie Highmore as Norman Bates, he's so good, dude. He's so creepy. You've watched Bates Motel?
I've
Part of
watched
it?
the first 2 or 3 seasons, yeah.
Okay. I've seen through season, I think I got into season 4. I still haven't finished it yet. I need to because I love that series. Um I mean, Vince Vaughn aside, like if we weren't counting Vince Vaughn, I feel like this would be S tier
Yeah.
because like Perkins is so freaking good.
He is so good in those first 4 movies. He's incredible, and as a character to follow through a series, he's so fascinating
Yeah.
because you
Well, yeah,
get
he's one of the few slasher like villains that you actually follow through the movies.
yeah, and he has arcs through all of them.
Hmm.
Like the first one, obviously everybody knows the original Hitchcock Psycho.
Yeah,
Part 2 rules. It's incredible.
I might enjoy like just popping on part 2 more than I enjoy popping on the first one. Like the first one's better,
Yeah.
but as far as like sheer enjoyment, I think I pop on 2 more than I'd pop on 1.
3 is where you get just kind of it's a 80s technicolored slasher.
It's a sleazy Americanized giallo.
Yep. 4 is a fun TV movie that is a character study of Norman Bates.
Hmm.
Vince Vaughn is where I'm struggling. 'Cause he's
And
bad.
I don't hate.
He's really bad.
Yeah, see, I
I
think
don't
he's doing fine work. I think he's just miscast.
both. I think he's yeah, I don't love that movie, the Psycho remake,
Hmm.
but I also think he's the worst part of it. And for being
Yeah,
Norman Bates, you already
that's
know
an
who he is
issue.
by this point. That's a major issue. Because it's
Yeah,
like even if the movie was bad, if you had someone portraying like, oh, that's a fun Norman Bates, kind of like Freddy, when he had Jackie Earl Haley in a terrible movie, but was giving a good performance.
what if
I'm
we
think
put him? What are you thinking?
I think he's a I think we put him above Michael Myers in A.
Okay, I'm good with that. Yeah, I was gonna say like at least above the clowns in A. So,
Yeah. I
but
think
I'm good with him being above all of them.
he's the OG too. I think we
Yeah,
also need to
he
throw that
is.
in there. There wouldn't
Here's
be
the
a
next one.
There wouldn't be a Michael Myers without a Norman Bates.
No.
Without Michael Myers, there wouldn't be anyone else after that.
Yeah.
So I think that has
Exactly.
to count towards something.
Yeah.
All right, this little bastard's back. Leprechaun.
don't know, like probably C with him. I mean, like he's the reason you watch the movies, but like there's a reason that he's languished in like direct to video hell for years and
Hmm.
has no sign of getting like, and it's just because the movies surrounding him just aren't like Warwick is tremendous. I think the new one that doesn't have him, it's fun, but
I like that one a lot. It might actually be the best Leprechaun movie.
it might be. I miss Warwick in it.
Yeah.
You know, like if Warwick was in it, I think it'd be perfect. Um,
What are you thinking then?
I don't know, probably lower B or C. Like I'm kind of, I don't know. What do you think?
I'm thinking top of C above Pinhead. We're gonna get a lot of crap for that, but
Yeah, I'd say that.
that's the reason you watch a Leprechaun movie.
Yeah.
You want to
Well,
watch
and
the
that's the thing.
Leprechaun kill people and have fun.
Leprechaun is iconic, and especially for people like our age, because when we started getting into horror, that's when the Hood movies were coming out.
Yeah.
And like those were, they might have been direct to video, but those were big back in the day. Like everybody was watching those. And yeah, some of my earliest memories are Leprechaun movies.
Hmm.
So I love Leprechaun.
I feel good about that. Top of C.
I do too.
Next up, John Kramer, Jigsaw.
I like him. His movies get very convoluted, and his reason, and like the fact that he just doesn't die and keeps finding ways. He's a little bit like Palpatine
Yeah.
in like Rise of Skywalker, where it's like, what? I mean, you technically shouldn't still be running things here.
Somehow Jigsaw has returned.
Exactly. I feel like that alone kind of puts him in C territory, you know? Like
It-
Tobin
yeah,
Bell is great as
he's the
Jigsaw,
best
as
part
John
of these
Kramer.
movies. Yeah.
Yes. It's just that sometimes that's just not enough, you know. I think the writing lets him down, especially in like the later sequels.
I should have put the picture of like "Hello, fellow kids," John Kramer with his his
With
backwards
his
cap.
backwards hat.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. That's like my favorite running thing in the Saw franchise, especially like Spiral. They do the same thing with Chris Rock. They put a backwards hat on him, but no makeup or anything, and he's just supposed to be like 10 years younger. And then Sam Jackson, they just put a mustache on him. Like what?
Hey, granted, Sam Jackson hasn't aged in 30 years, so
That's
I'll give
true.
him the
That's
benefit of
true.
the I'm thinking
Yeah,
I
like
don't
kind
love
of
the Saw.
behind,
Yeah, I
huh?
don't love the Saw series. Our arguments of like the slasher characters being the reason you want to watch these movies, I will also argue for Saw because obviously, like Billy the Puppet is
Oh
like
yeah,
the character, the icon you think of when you think of Saw, but he's not. It's not like, oh my god, I want to see what the little puppet on his tricycle does next. It's like, no,
yeah,
what traps are going to be in this movie?
yes, exactly.
I'm thinking behind Leslie Vernon.
That's where I'm thinking too. I mean, he's a good character. He's just not great.
Yeah,
Like, he's pretty for me, like middle of the pack, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, we got three left. We got Sam from Trick or
Okay.
Treat, Victor Crowley, and the puppets from Puppet Master. Let's go to Sam from Trick or Treat.
Oh man, this is another kind of like Killer Clowns, where I know there's only the one movie, and you know, but
But
culturally, Sam has made such an impact. Culturally, he's a powerhouse. I mean,
mhm.
he's kind of what's keeping Spirit Halloween open these days.
I mean, he's become what Mike Doherty wanted him to become when he first
Yeah,
created the character of like
he's a
Christmas
new
has Santa
Halloween
Claus.
icon.
What's Halloween's mascot then? It
Yeah.
kind of has become Sam from Trick or Treat.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
Man, again, you look at character design, incredible looking design with like the round sack head, the orange jumpsuit, the
Yeah.
the pumpkin lollipop,
And the
and then
fact that it's not like an animatronic, like it's actually a kid, like a
yeah,
little kid in there who's doing all of this. And that's incredible.
even when he takes the the sack off. It's like
Mhm.
a rotting pumpkin.
Yep. Oh, I love it. A rotting pumpkin skull. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything about him is great. I would put him honestly. I'd put Sam in S tier, but I get that he's like new and maybe not as.
Yeah, my argument is the one movie thing. I mean, it's great.
Mhm.
It's an iconic Halloween movie. There's two movies you should watch every Halloween: the OG Halloween and Trick or Treat.
Yep.
Mm,
Maybe A. Maybe A.
I'm thinking he should go behind Michael Myers in A.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's put Sam and Mikey together.
I think we have to. Okay, we'll put Trick or Treat Sam right there. I like that.
Yeah.
Last two here. We got Victor Crowley from Hatchet.
Man, I have not watched any of the Hatchet movies in so long. I know I've seen the first three, and they're gross.
They are gross.
Victor Crowley's a cool character, I guess.
Super cool character, cool backstory,
Yeah.
good look. Obviously, an iconic weapon. It's the name of the series.
I
Multiple
mean,
weapons throughout the series. I mean, he uses a handheld sander.
yeah. I mean,
He
and the
he
Hatchet
shoves
movies are
Felissa.
all.
He shoves Felissa Rose's arm through the bottom of her body out of her mouth.
Ugh, God, that's gross. Um, yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like I don't know, B. You think? I feel like the Hatchet movies are kind of B movies too. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like they're lower budget. I don't know if as many people know about them.
That would be my
Um,
my argument is that Victor Crowley, though 4 movies in and relatively new, he's not as a
never really
character reached the
vibed with them.
popularity level of, say, Sam from Trick or Treat or Art the Clown of other characters that came around that same time.
Yeah,
He just hasn't, and I don't know why.
there's
Um,
potential there. I don't know.
I like Victor Crowley a lot. There's not a bad movie in the series. I think he's iconic for me. Um, I'd argue bottom of A after Killer Clowns, just because the clowns are now more iconic than
Yeah, I guess I just
him.
put him on. Like I look at our B tier, and that's kind of where I see him. We could even put him top of B. I'd let him go above Killer Clown or
Above
Chopping
of
Mall.
the chopping mall Killbots.
Yeah, the name of the game
All right,
is whatchamacallit, Compromise. So
I'm good with that. Hey, give Chopping Mall another movie, or at least a short or something, and we can.
yeah, Chopping Mall.
All right, Sam. Here's our last one: the puppets from Puppet Master.
This is more your expertise than mine. I've only seen a few of these, and they're fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to be egregious with this.
I'd put him B or C, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to go too crazy with this. I think they are. Again, you look at iconic looks and iconic uh, kind of backstories for characters. I think they fit both of those great. There's multiple puppets you can throw in here. Obviously, Blade is the big one with the white face and the hat and the hook arm and the blade. But you have fun other ones like Torch that shoots fire out of his arms.
Yeah.
My favorite Pinhead, which is looks like Patrick from SpongeBob when he gets asked if he's Pinhead Larry. He looks like that with like Hulk body. Um, I would argue above Angela, C tier, below Pinhead.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
I don't think we need to put him above Pinhead. I think Pinhead's gotten. We're gonna get enough crap for putting Pinhead in C
Uh,
tier already. I think.
yes, yes, we are. I have a feeling that our No, do you get the feeling that we're gonna hear about this from Blake?
I
The
don't know.
Pinhead thing in
I don't know.
particular?
We'll see. We'll see. I think we're gonna hear about it from a lot of people. Uh, how you feeling about this list? That was the last one. Do we need to move anyone around before we change
I
or
still
before we
think the
end this?
creeper needs to go down to D, but otherwise, no, I think this list is pretty damn good.
All
And
right,
also
let's.
just personal preference, I'd put Chucky above Freddy, but
He
it
can
doesn't
go.
matter at that point.
He can go here. Creeper can
Yeah,
go to the top of D. I'm fine with that.
there we go. Yeah. D's still good. It's not an F.
He's still on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine
I
with
think
that.
that's I
Especially
think
the
that's a good
last two
list.
movies in that series, even though I do like the first two. It's you have to put some real life stuff in there where the actual creator of this is an actual creeper and a horrible human being.
Yeah,
And into this too. But I feel good about it.
I do too. I feel good about this. This is a good list. I'm so happy that Jason's at S.
Yeah.
That was the one that I was like, I knew Killbots probably wouldn't end up at S because I like realistically, I know that's a me thing. But but yeah, Jason at S. I just you know me. My recent rewatch of that franchise has just cemented me as a major Jason
Mhm.
head. And so I'm just yeah,
All
I'm
right.
loving it. I'm
I'm
loving
gonna
the look of this.
I'm gonna read these off here from top to bottom, S to D. This is our definitive slasher tier ranking. Here we go. In the S tier, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, Ghostface, Jason Voorhees. In the A tier, Norman Bates, Michael Myers, Sam from Trick or Treat, The Miner from My Bloody Valentine, Leatherface, Candyman, Art the Clown, and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. B. Victor Crowley, Killbots from Chopping Mall, Billy from Black Christmas, The Prowler, and the Driller Killer from Slumber Party Massacre. C tier, Leprechaun, Pinhead, Puppet Master Puppets, Angela from Sleepaway Camp, Leslie Vernon, and John Kramer, Jigsaw from Saw, and D tier, The Creeper from Jeepers Creepers, and the Babyface Killer from Happy Death Day.
Yeah, that's a solid ranking list.
I think that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Do you have any surprises before we kind of finish up this tier ranking?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay. One of my AirPods died, so I just did a quick switch. I wanted to make sure. um,
One of your AirPods just got slashed by our S tier villains.
yeah. Yeah, Ghostface came and took it right out of my right ear. Sorry, what was your question again?
The question: do you have any surprises from this list on where we ended up with anyone?
I'm a little surprised that Pinhead is this low, but also maybe not just because I know that Hellraiser might not be like I don't know. I feel like you probably like Hellraiser more than I do, but I don't feel like Hellraiser is our franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a little shocked at how many are in A tier, but I don't disagree with any of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is a really good list. I actually think we've spread it out quite a bit. Like we've had measured and analytical discussions of this.
It's a scientific ranking. It
It's
is.
a scientific ranking, and that's why the Killbots are at B and not S.
I have a
What do you think?
couple surprises. I'm not so surprised with Pinhead. I was thinking maybe B he'd end up in, but I feel better that he's in C looking at who we have in B. B is a wild bunch of people. Look at that.
Yeah, B is crazy.
B is kind of like, yeah, these rule. These should be higher, but not too high.
B B feels like it's just our personal favorites. Like I feel
B
like B is just our personal favorite tier.
B is like our motley crew of slasher villains right there in the
Yeah.
middle. I am surprised we didn't put Michael in S tier,
Yeah.
but
I'm a
I
little
think
surprised at that too.
us talking it out and talking logically through it, I I feel good towards the top of A for him. I'm also shocked that Art the Clown is in A. I
Yeah,
I
I
think
know.
I think we're at the point he should be, but I'm just I don't know. This feels like the real moment of like seeing him next to Candyman, Leatherface, and Michael Myers, where it's like, yeah, he's here, he's arrived.
Oh yeah, and I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Personal enjoyment aside, like he's the new horror icon. I guarantee you, Spirit Halloween is gonna have Art the Clown shit all over the place next year, or I guess this year. Like
If they were smart, they
guaranteed.
would. Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm kind of I'm pleasantly surprised with this list. This was a little more copacetic than I thought it would be.
yeah,
So yeah, I dig this.
I do too. I think it's a good list. We did a good job. Uh, yeah, this was fun.
It was. We should break formula like this more often.
Yeah, I think we will. I think this is a nice change of pace. We're spreading our horror knowledge. I feel like we have. We're gonna. I think even looking at this list, we have like some movies where like, man, we need to re-talk about these or talk about
Mhm.
certain genres within horror.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
But people out there listening, please let us know if you enjoyed this episode. Let us know where we went wrong on our tier ranking because we know we did. Let us know. Don't be shy about it. Let us know where you would tier rank these 25 characters. I'll put all of the names in the show notes so you can kind of, if people out there listening want to put their own ranking on it. After this episode drops, maybe we'll give it a week or so and we'll
And we
drop.
can post it on Instagram or something.
We'll drop the actual tier ranking image for everyone.
Yeah,
But I think that's it, Sam.
that's it. We did it.
We
That was
did
a
it.
fun episode.
We tier ranked all the slasher icons. People have stopped listening when they said when we didn't put Michael Myers in S tier. They're like, all right, I'm done. These guys don't know anything. They didn't even get to us putting Pinhead in C.
As someone who's rage quit podcasts before, like listening to podcasts before, I wouldn't blame them either.
No, I hope they come back and listen to this
I
because
hope you come back, or
it's a
if you're
fun. I
still
think it's a
listening.
fun ranking list. Yeah, we'll do these again. We'll think of other horror topics to throw into a tier ranking. I think that'd be fun.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. All
Sam,
right.
if people are listening, if they if they made it through all this shenanigans and they want to find out where they can listen to the podcast, if they just stumbled upon it, where can they listen to us?
Well, you can
Scoob
you,
scribe.
you can subscribe. You
I
can
like that.
subscribe to Screams from the Basement. Happy accident, right?
Yeah.
You can scribe to Screams from the Basement on Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, and Anchor. And if you're looking for even more content, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search Screams from the Basement. We'll pop up.
Yes, and we are also. Did you say YouTube? I'll say it again. We're on
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah.
If you want to see
YouTube.
the video portion of this, you can see all the toys that we're talking about, the news, and then you can actually see us put this tier ranking together. We're also on the TikTok. I think we have one thing on there because I don't know what I'm doing. I feel too old to be doing this.
Well, we'll get more on the TikTok as we figure it out. I've been kind of playing around with it too. So, and
It's a lot.
especially now that I'm like, I'm back, baby. I'm gonna be tweeting up a storm from this account. Casey, you're gonna have to probably change the passwords.
That is fine with me. Sam's back, bitches. All right. Well, this has been Screams from the Basement. We don't have a topic for next time, but you'll just have to stay tuned, I guess. We'll think of something fun to do. If you have an idea for a topic that you'd like us to cover, please reach out to us on any social media channels or send us an email to screamsfromthebasementpod@gmail.com. We will take that into consideration. More than likely, yes, we will cover your topic if you ask us specifically on
Oh hell
something
yeah!
you want us to do. So, Sam, do you have anything else to throw out there before we finish this thing up?
I don't think so. Just be good people to each other and watch more horror movies.
Watch more horror movies. Have fun. Send us send us your slasher tier ranking list. Well,
Yeah.
for Screams from the Basement, I'm Casey.
And I'm Sam.
Thanks for tuning
Thanks
in.
for tuning in. And sweet screams.
Where's the button, guys?
What?
I need to find the button. We're gonna have a fail at the end of this episode.
Can I
Sam,
end the recording?
No,
I can end it.
I didn't end the recording because we got to play one more thing, and I'm just going to throw this out there as a plug because I messed up already. Our last thing is, hey, you should check out other podcasts on the Prescribed Films Podcast Network.
Yeah.
Go do that. I'm going to play the ad right now because I'm a terrible host and forgot to click the button. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.